Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Mark Krebs. I'm a gold qualified consultant with Team Sunset. I've been with Archer and Evolution Travel for 17 months now, but I've been a travel agent for 9.5 years. Welcome to tonight's 21-day booking procedures, what you need to know to book those last minute clients training. This is one of the most important trainings that you guys are going to attend here at Archer Travel because there are some very strict requirements that we must follow every time we have a 21-day or less booking. So let's go ahead and get started here. So why are these procedures important? So they are in place to protect you, the agent, from fraudulent booking. In the first 6 months of 2023, so this year, there have been over $150,000 in credit card chargebacks due to fraudulent bookings. So, and I'll get into what a fraudulent booking is later. So, with 21-day bookings, a red flag should always be raised when you're asked to do this type of booking, even if you know the client. Okay, so these types of bookings should always raise a red flag in your mind, no matter what. This is where the most fraudulent bookings occur for a travel agent. If a booking seems too good to be true, it usually is. So if you are ever in doubt, ask your mentor. So get them on the phone. Don't text them, get them on the actual phone. You can always call Archer or consult with another leader on your team about the booking. So I can't stress that enough. Consult with somebody else about the booking if you are ever unsure about it. I've had situations where people have contacted me over Facebook saying, can you book something for me in a day and a half? And I've turned those bookings away because of the fact that they raised red flags. And we'll go over some of the common red flags later on in the training. So, what is a 21-day booking? A 21-day booking is any booking that is made within 21 days of that date. Okay, so this is when you have to follow the 21-day procedures. I know this is August's calendar, but this is the one that I found off of a training from Jose. And he did this training a couple of weeks ago, and so I am bouncing off of it to pass it on to all of our new agents as well. So if you had somebody who wanted to book something and they contacted you on August 1st and they wanted to book something on for an August 19th departure, that is a 21-day booking. Okay, so you have to follow these procedures. Now, there are certain vendors that you have to follow these procedures for, and we'll go over those vendors here in just a minute. So, but let's say you get a call on August 1st and they want to leave on August 29th. You do not have to follow the 21-day procedure in that case, okay? Because the departure date is not within that 21 days. So it is anytime a departure date is within 21 days of the current date. Does everybody understand that? Okay. So with these bookings, you have to submit a completed credit card authorization form and the booking information to Archer Travel if reservations are made within 21 days of departure with the below suppliers. Okay. So, and these are all found in VAX. So these are all third-party suppliers that we use pretty much on a daily basis that do not have the fraud control procedures in place that we need in order to book these on short notice. So anytime that you are submitting a 21-day booking with Apple Vacations, American Airline Vacations, AM Resort Collection, Beds Online, which is their own website, Blue Sky Tours Hawaii, Funjet Vacation, Pleasant Holidays, which is their own website, ski.com, Southwest Vacations, Travel Impressions, United Vacations, and World Agent Direct, which is Delta. Okay. Anytime you are submitting a booking with them within 21 days of departure, you must submit the credit card authorization form to Archer Travel at 21-day bookings at archertravel.com. The turnaround time for that is usually just a couple of hours or by the end of business day. With these, you can usually put the reservation on hold and get a reservation number. Okay, so with Apple Vacation, you can put the reservation on hold for 24 hours and get a reservation number to put onto the credit card authorization form. Does everybody understand that? So it is specific to these 12 suppliers that you have to have the credit card authorization form for the 21-day bookings. In addition to that credit card authorization form, you must send to Archer a copy of the front and back of the driver's license of the client and a copy of the front of the credit card with the CVV2 code number covered up if it is on the front of the card, which happens on American Express cards. Okay, does everybody understand that? Okay, moving on. We have a new credit card authorization form, and I will show you what a completed credit card authorization form looks like and is properly filled out. Because if it is not properly filled out, Archer will actually reject the booking until it is completely and properly filled out with the client's signature. Okay, so you must fill out the credit card authorization form completely and correctly to be covered by the Archer Travel Protection Plus program, which is our E&O and fraud protection program. The travel agent and client should both fill in the credit card authorization form. You, as the travel agent, should fill out the top part of the credit card authorization form. This includes your business name, your full business address, so your full home address. This is the only time that we have to use this. Okay, so wherever you are doing business from, you must fill in your home address, your city, state, and zip code, your business telephone number and email address, the client's name. Where it says independent contractor, this should be the travel agent's name. The guest name, so this is the person or the client's name or the person who's traveling. The trip type and supplier name. The confirmation number. So you must have that on the form before you send it to Archer. Again, you can put those bookings on hold for 24 hours with Apple Vacations or one of the vacation providers in Vax and get that reservation number, get that booking number, the departure date and the return date of the client. Your client should fill out the remaining information and attach a copy of their driver's license and a copy of the front of their credit card. The form must be completed with the client's signature, and we need an actual signature. Okay, so they can't just type their name in there. Your client can download Adobe Acrobat PDF Reader and e-sign it with their finger. So they can do it on their phone. Or the client can download, print it, fill it in by hand, sign it by hand, either scan it or take a picture of it and resend it back to you. Now, one thing that has been coming up with Archer a lot is that clients have been calling the office and saying, oh, I thought these transactions were coming from Archer when they're really coming from a supplier. And that's been an area where the chargebacks have been coming from. Okay. So you have to remind the client that the charge on their credit card will be from whatever the supplier is. When sending over the credit card authorization form, please state this separately to prevent client chargebacks and reporting their booking charges fraud. Travel agents must provide Archer Travel with proper documentation from the client and supplier to be covered. The travel agent must use an Archer Travel supplier listed through the Travel Cafe website, and the client must have completely filled out the credit card authorization form. If you do not provide Archer Travel with proper documentation, the travel agent is fully responsible for any chargebacks. Okay, that means you are financially responsible for any chargebacks on the credit card. You will have to pay Archer back, and you could lose your position. There is a zero tolerance policy for chargebacks. So you could actually lose your position with Archer Travel as an independent contractor, and you could lose your business if you have a chargeback. This is a correctly filled out credit card authorization form. And I don't mind sharing this one. This is actually from my travel to Detroit regionals. So you see at the very top, the independent contractor information. It's got my business name, and then I put my name on there, my business address, my city, state, and zip, my phone number, and my email address. Yes, Michelle, you are absolutely right. We fill this out for all bookings, no matter what. But we have to submit it to Archer for the 21-day bookings. So your guest name, so I, Mark D. Krebs, hereby authorize 72 and Sunny Travel, Mark Krebs, to process the credit card information provided for the reservation details listed below. Yes, Carrie, you put your personal address on this form. This is the only time we have to use our personal address, unless you want to put it on your business cards, but you don't have to. This is a new policy with Archer within the last month. That's why I'm doing this training tonight. So you put the trip type. So this is a hotel only reservation for me. And even if it is your own travel, still fill out a credit card authorization form just in case your credit card company thinks it's a fraudulent booking. This way you have the information. My supplier name is Embassy Suites by Hilton, Troy, Auburn Hills, because that's who's going to be processing the credit card. I've got my confirmation number on there, my departure date, my return date, the contact name, the name as it appears on my credit card, the last 4 digits of my credit card. Notice that you do not put the full credit card number on this form. It is only the last 4 digits. And it says it in red for our clients. To protect your confidential information, do not provide your full credit card number written on this form. You will be contacted by your travel agent to provide your full credit card number and CVV2 number. A copy picture of the driver's license and copy picture of the front of the credit card is needed along with this form. So our clients will be sending that information to us, and we need to remind them that. You put the total charge to your card, the expiration date of your card, the billing address your client will fill out. So always put, what I do is I always put the total charge because I will know that before my client does. So I always put the total charge on the form for my client. The billing address, their city, state, and zip, their daytime phone number, their email address. Now, this is new as well. You must offer travel protection to every single client. Okay, and you must explain the risks of them not having travel protection. Okay, because if the client does not have travel protection and something happens, they are fully responsible for the cost of either rebooking their trip or paying for the changes. Okay, so you check yes or no to travel protection was offered, and yes or no if it was accepted. Again, this is my own trip. I didn't offer it to myself. Well, I offered it to myself and I didn't accept it. Okay, and it says clearly at the bottom, the risks for declining coverage have been explained to me by my travel advisor. I understand that declining travel insurance, I may not be covered for any changes or cancellations of my trip. I am solely responsible and liable for any cancellation penalties and out-of-pocket expenses incurred. Okay, this is why we offer travel protection to all of our clients, and a majority of them will take it. You have the client sign it either electronically or physically, and they'll date it. Okay. This new credit card authorization form can be found in the Travel Cafe under Forms. So I would suggest downloading it and customizing it. Put your independent contractor information on it first, and then save a copy with that independent contractor information in there so you're not typing it in every single time you send a credit card authorization form. That's what I do, and it shaves a little bit of time off the process of doing the CC auths for me. Are there any questions on the new credit card authorization form? So any other versions of the form you have, go ahead and get rid of them. Go to the Travel Cafe and download the new one.
So Mark, I have a question for you that I thought would be easier if I just said something instead of
Carrie.
typing it. What if you so my husband isn't completely comfortable with us putting our home address on there, but this is something that we have to do. He just doesn't want like a client or, somebody to come across, and you know how people are. So what would you recommend, or what does Archer recommend?
I would recommend getting a small PO box then.
Okay. Alrighty.
I mean, you can get them for like $8 a month.
Okay, but this is something that we legally have to have now.
We legally have to have because this is a credit card authorization form. We have to have an address on there for the credit card companies that will match up with our however we're running the credit card. So if you're running a card on Square for a service fee, that has to match up if your client disputes the charge.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, so we have to have it on there in case of disputes.
Okay.
So Michelle, you send all of this information, the credit card authorization form, the driver's license, and the front of the credit card to 21-day bookings at archertravel.com. And I'll put the email address into the chat box again as well.
Hi, Mark. I'm sorry. I have a question added on to the one that was just asked.
Yeah.
So, could we send it to the client with just our business name, phone number, and email address? And when they send it back, we could fill in our home address?
No,
No? Okay.
nope, nope, because it's not a fully, because even though we have to have our personal addresses on here, the chances of a client coming to you are slim to none. And I mean that wholeheartedly, because I've been doing this for 9.5 years and I have never had a client try to come and find me. I've never heard of anybody having a client come to try to find them, because most of the time your clients are going to be out of state from where you're working, or out of the area from where you're working. If you are meeting up with clients, then meet in a public place. Don't meet at your house. Meet at a local coffee shop so that they don't know where you live. So you can put your home address on there, and if you feel that you have an issue, that's when you contact local law enforcement. If you feel that there's an issue of stalking or anything like that. But I have never heard of a travel agent, an independent agent, having an issue with this. But we are required, and it shows our clients that we do have a physical place that we do business at. That's why we have to have it on there. So, I mean, once you get your business going, theoretically, you could get a storefront and use that as your office. I know a couple of agents who have done that. They have their own storefront and everything, and they use that as their business address. So, but yes, unfortunately, we do have to have our home addresses on here for the clients, but this is the only time we have to, again, because of verification purposes for the credit card companies. So for all agents, it doesn't matter if you're new, it doesn't matter if you've been here a while like Carrie and I. For all of your bookings, even a 21-day booking, if you're concerned about it, you still work the booking. You still qualify your client. You still do the research on it. You still quote it. Okay. If it's with one of those 12 vendors, then that's fine. You just send the information to Archer. That's the only thing that is different with these 21-day bookings. And it's just those 12. So, I mean, if you're booking, let's say, airline tickets with Delta, you don't have to worry about that because they've already got the fraud protection in place. If you're booking a package with Expedia, you don't have to worry about doing the 21-day procedure with Expedia because they're not on this list. Does everybody follow me? So it's just those specific 12 vendors that are in VAX that you have to follow the 21-day procedure for. So just to wrap this up, some fraud prevention tips that Jose provided us. Do not, on these 21-day bookings especially, do not take a third-party credit card. Okay, and what that means is somebody else paying for the trip and they are not traveling. You can do it for a further out period. So say it was for like an anniversary trip and the kids want to send their parents somewhere, that's fine. But if it's something that's coming up really quickly, like it within a couple of days, don't do it. because you're going to have that very well could be a stolen credit card that's being used, and it could really backfire on you. So no third party paying for trip. The credit card does not match the traveler's name. You have to get the credit card authorization and the driver's license of the person who is paying for the trip. I would get the credit card and driver's license of everybody who is going on that trip in that case. Number 2, check the client information on the credit card and make sure the name on the credit card authorization, and make sure that the name matches the credit card and the driver's license. Check the phone number, do a reverse address search online, and try to send an email to them as well. Make sure all of that is valid, because sometimes they will use fake information to try to book a trip. And there you go. That's a fraudulent booking. If the credit card goes through, it doesn't mean that it's a good card. It means that down the road, it's going to be reported stolen. Potentially. That person, the actual owner of the card, just doesn't know it yet. If you receive like a Facebook inquiry from somebody you have never met before or heard from before, and it's a quick trip, like the next day, that is a red flag right there. Especially if it's an international trip with no return date. Okay. So especially international trips with no return dates. Do not take those bookings. If the client only uses email and never wants to talk to you on the phone, that's a red flag. Okay, that could mean a fraudulent booking. Check the time when they contacted you and where they contacted you from. Okay, because maybe they contacted you from overseas and they're trying to fraudulently use a card to get somebody overseas. Like I said earlier, if the booking is too good to be true, don't take it. Especially if it's a short turnaround. If they won't fill out the authorization form, that is a big red flag, and say, I'm sorry, I can't help you. If they are in a hurry to book, or they want to travel that night, tomorrow, or the following day, that's a big red flag, unless you know the person. But again, if it's an anonymous person that you have never met before, don't take that booking. So just some final reminders. Remember that it is your responsibility to completely qualify your client properly prior to any booking, not just 20 bookings, 21 days or less. Okay, so we have the client qualification sheets that are found in the Travel Cafe. Use them for every single client. It's just a series of questions, and you're going to get to know your clients so much better and their travel needs. Remember that you, the agent, are responsible for paying any chargebacks that are issued against the booking that you do, and that you could also lose your position with Archer and Evolution Travel should there be a chargeback, as there is a zero tolerance policy in place. This was announced during convention this year. They have a zero tolerance policy because they have had so many chargebacks. And that's not good for our bottom line, for your bottom line, or for our clients. It doesn't matter what the reason of the chargeback is. Okay. Make sure that you are properly charging your clients for your services and for the trips with the vendors. Okay. If you make a mistake, get with your mentor right away and they will work with you to fix it. Issue an apology to your client immediately. That way you can either, and if you make a mistake, you can either request an immediate refund and wait for that refund to be processed and then reprocess the client's card for the correct amount, or you can charge the client's card for the correct amount right away and then wait for the refund. Those are just two options that you have, but always get with your mentor if you have a question before you, and this leads me into my final point. If you have questions, make sure to reach out to your mentor, your gold or platinum leader, or to the other leaders in your team chat for assistance, and they will be able to help you with any bookings that you have. This is especially important for the new agents. Okay, we are all here to help you. Seasoned agents, leaders, mentors, trainers, we're all here to help you. You're not alone. If your mentor is not available, reach out in your team chat and say, hey, I've got a question, or hey, I've got a booking and I need help with it. Does anybody have any final questions before we wrap this up? Kiana, you don't see the new credit card authorization form. It's under forms and then credit card authorization form. Should be. Let me go into the Travel Cafe and let me find it. Can you guys see my screen? Okay. I have to log into my backup account here. Give me 1 second. If for some reason it's not in there, I have a copy of it and I'll put it into the chat. So forms, credit card authorization form. For clients, credit card authorization form. You just click on that and then you download it from there. Okay, do you see it now?
It keeps telling me that I gotta log back in to the back office. It doesn't
Right.
even have.
Right, you have to be logged into the back office in order to access Travel Cafe.
Yeah, and I am. It just won't. It doesn't come up at all.
Okay,
Every time
Kiana, put your email address into the chat and I will email it to you. Download it again. There you go. It's on its way to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Go back to the presentation here. Okay, guys, if there are any other questions for me? Okay, well, if you do have questions for me, this is how you can get in touch with me. You can either contact me on Facebook. You can follow me on Facebook. I'll leave this up for a minute so that you guys can screenshot this if you want. You can schedule a meeting with me on Calendly. I do hold office hours most of the time. You can call me or text me if you guys have questions and your mentor is not answering. You can shoot me an email, or you can go to my YouTube channel for more trainings as well. So, all right, guys. Well, if there are no other
Thanks, Mark.
questions, yeah, no problem. If there are no other questions, thank you guys very much for coming tonight. I really appreciate it. And you guys have a great rest of your evening. If I don't see you on the beaches of the world, I will definitely be seeing you guys at the bank. Talk to you guys soon.